Sometimes deer hunting season, it's still kind of warm in Arkansas. And me and Gary and Chuck, well, I went deer hunting one year, a few years back, and it was opening day, and it had not really been cold yet. You shouldn't even be deer hunting really when it's that warm. We're all separated, so we can't see each other where we're deer hunting, but we knew which direction the other one was in, so we didn't accidentally shoot one another. About 3 hours into the day, we hear Gary screaming, screaming at the top of his lungs. Well, we both took off running, and we found him in about 5 minutes. And Gary's down on the ground with his pants down around his ankles, hanging on to his private parts. And we said, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What happened? What happened?" And Gary's just saying, "Snake, snake, snake." He said, "Did you get bit?" And he said, "Copperhead, copperhead." We said, "Well, where'd it bite you?" He said, "It bit me." Well, I'm not going to say the word. His language is pretty graphic, but it bit him in the private parts. Well, he said, "Well, get up. Let's get you to the doctor." And he said, "I can't." He said, I don't think I can get up." He said, "I'm not kidding. I am hurting." He said, "I am swelled up and hurting." So we didn't have any self-service right there where we were at. Chuck said he'd run back to the road, and he had to go about a quarter mile to get self-service. He said, "I'll go back," and he said, "I'll call the doc or the hospital or 911 or something and see what we need to do to fix this." Chuck was gone for about 15 minutes. Seemed like an hour to me, and I bet it seemed like 3 hours to Gary because, he was hurting bad. So anyway, Chuck comes back, and he was kind of out of breath, and he pulled me aside, and I said, "Well, what'd they say?" And he said, "Well, I got a hold of the hospital." And he said, what he really needs is the antivenom, considering where he got bit. They said, it could kill him. And they said, but there's no time. They said, there's only one other option, and that is to split it open and get that poison sucked out of there, before, and then get him to the hospital as quick as we can and probably save him. So we went to Gary, and poor old Gary, he was bent over and looking 3 shades of green, and he looked up at Chuck, and he said, "Well, did you get a hold of the hospital or a doctor or somebody?" And Chuck said, "Yeah." Gary said, "Well, what'd they say?" Chuck looked him right in the eye, and he said, "Buddy, you're going to die."